Hello, it's Jen here from Jen's Creative Classroom. I'm about to show you how I do the technique known as Northern Lights as part of my Everything ABC's blog hop for the letter N, in this case being for Northern Lights. First of all, I'll just show you some of the variations I've done of the cards. There is this one here, which is using the trees and a fairly common approach to the whole thing, and that uses the stamp set Always Grateful, which has these lovely little trees here, and any of those trees will do for this technique. The second one is again that same stamp set, but you can see I've used a completely different tree. This time I'll point out that I've actually used white dots on here. These are the pearl paint. This is a retiring item. I don't think it's available anymore, but your consultant might have it. If you've got some in your stash, that's what I've used. The next one is this one here called Hello Tweety, and this one was a real hit at convention in Disneyland in USA. Lots of people ask me about this one because it doesn't have trees, which is really unusual for this technique. The Hello Tweety stamp set is a little bit different. It's retiring, so if you're interested in doing this one, you need to grab this stamp set before it completely disappears. Here's another example of that same stamp set, and you can see that I've actually hung the, well, I hope you can see that I've hung the bird on a wire. I've backed it on black and then used the damask embossing folder on slate paper to background that. And that looks awesome. And inside, from that same stamp set, is the sentiment in the card. Finally, and this one also was interested, people were interested in, is the city skyline from the Cityscape stamp set. This one here. So they're the ones that I've done already. For today, I'm going to suggest that you look a little bit further outside the square than the trees. How about doing one with the silhouette images of the cars in Fast and Furious and even the tyre tread, which would be really, really good. When you finish seeing what I do, maybe you'll be prepared to have a go. For today, I'm going to have a go at doing it with this one here, which is Born to Ride. So let's see if I can hone in on those stamp sets. I'll list them on the blog anyway. Okay, so let's get started. You're going to need lots of different ink colours. You can see here I have a stack of inks. There's honey, topiary, hollyhock, Indian corn blue, outdoor denim and black. And we're going to start with the top and work our way through to the bottom. All you need to do this is a sponge. I've actually seen it done where someone has cut their sponge into lots of different pieces so they've got a different colour for everything. You can see here my sponge is multicoloured. All I do is turn the sponge like a donut a little bit further around and away I go again, and when I'm finished, just go and wash it. It's that simple. You don't need to chop your sponge up at all. Okay, so here we go. I'm getting my honey ink and I'm going to start by scraping my sponge across the pad and then making some rubbing motion in diagonal lines across my piece of paper. This piece of paper is a 6x4. I have done it on like a whole page and just chopped it up before, and you'll see some variations on this eventually as well. Okay, so just rubbing like this. I did see one example video where the Northern Lights was done using sponge daubers. I had a go at this and I did not like the result. With your green, we're just going to put it in spots. It doesn't have to be exact, and it doesn't have to cover all the white at this point in time either. In fact, the less coverage that you get, the better. Okay, I'm trying to work so that the camera will show you straight on, and get used to doing that. I do apologise if a truck comes along. Unfortunately, it will be picked up by the video. Okay, so now I'm going in with some pink. This is the Hollyhock from Close to My Heart. I love this colour. And because I like it to shine out a little bit, I'm going to be fairly, because we're going to have this red hot motorbike, I figure we need a little bit more of the pink colour in there. And the other thing is to use it to actually blend with other colours so that you end up with more colours. Let's see if you can see that corner there. Can you see I've made this kind of purpley colour by mixing that pink into the original bit of green. Okay, a little bit of, what have we got now? Indian corn blue. And again, just rubbing it in patches. I stick to the diagonal lines just because northern lights tend to come down through the sky, and that is what I'm after, is that look of graduated colour coming down through a night sky. If you're not sure what northern lights are, you can look them up, but the technique is based on the idea of seeing the night sky with northern lights. Now, at this point here, you can actually stop. You can make something really pretty and crazy and fun just with that. Okay, with these colours. It just looks really pretty. But it's still a bit stripy for me. And to blend it all together, we need to go in with some outdoor denim. And what this is going to do is darken it up so it looks more like the night. And again, I'm not going to cover absolutely everything. Can you see the change happening here? How it's going nice and dark. Just excuse me while I get a bit more on my brush here. My sponge, I should say. I'm a bit of a painter, so the brush kind of comes naturally. Okay, so that could be it, but I actually want to darken the edges up a bit more. This is at about the same depth as what I've used on the city lights. Okay, I'm going to darken this one up a little bit more for our motorbike rider. And to do that, I'm going to concentrate on the edges. So I'm pulling in from the edges and using the scratch paper underneath means that I can rub right across those edges and not worry about missing bits. I'm going to leave that little pale patch there, I like that. And there we have it. Okay, so there's my background all ready to go. Now the next thing of course is to stamp it up with the actual image. Okay, so hopefully I've seasoned these stamps enough because this is the first time I've actually used these ones. So here's our motorbike. Let's get a little sponge pad to go underneath there because I can't turn my board over at the moment. And there's our motorbike image. We need a little bit of a title happening on here. So we'll pop Born to Ride right about the centre. And then, because it's got the I love the barbed wire on this stamp set. So we're going to put some barbed wire in there. Just to link it all up. If I had fence posts handy, I'd probably put them in too, but we don't. So the barbed wire's on the other side of the fence. It just kind of goes with the images that are here. So there you go. That's now ready to be put onto a card base and maybe turned into a birthday card or something similar. So that's how I do Northern Lights. And for those of you who met me at convention and talked to me about what you saw on my board, this is the technique exactly repeated that I used for doing these particular samples that were shown at convention during the time when consultants were allowed to show their artwork. I'd like to thank you for your time for coming by and visiting, and if you want to get any of the products that I've talked about, please visit jenscreativeclassroom.ctmh.com.au, and by all means leave me a comment below. That's it. I will be posting written instructions on the blog, and the video is there to complement them. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this little technique video. Thank you.